What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over Flux. Everyone's been talking about Flux, Flux nodes, Flux this, Flux that. What exactly is Flux? Well, let's jump right into it. It's a scalable, decentralized computational network. The Flux OS is powered by Flux node infrastructure run by individual Flux holders. There should be a period there. Flux nodes are geographically spaced all over the world so developers can be assured that their apps are accessible by users at all times and locations. There are multiple options for supplying computing power. The node operator decides what is best for them. You can run a VPS, you can host it from your house, you can use your own hardware, yada yada. You can use your own hardware. Let's get into that. So this is the basic breakdown of what the essentially staking is right this second. You have three different nodes: Cumulus, Nimbus, Stratus. 10,000 Flux, 25,000 Flux, 100,000 Flux. For the Cumulus node, 2 core 4 gigs of RAM, 50 gig hard drive or SSD. This is the big one, 2.5 terabytes of bandwidth per month. If you are on Comcast, Xfinity, whatever the hell it is, probably any of the providers similar to them, you are probably going to have to pay 30 some odd dollars a month to essentially have unlimited bandwidth. So please just keep that in mind. As you go up to the Nimbus node, 4 core, 8 gigs RAM, 150 gig SSD. It is specified that it is an SSD. I would imagine there will be a lot of reading and writing going on there. 4 terabytes of bandwidth. And then as you get into the Stratus node, 8 core, 32 gigs of RAM, 600 gigs SSD, and 6 terabytes of bandwidth. That's a pretty nice computer on the right side. It says that those are the minimum requirements. It says it will use all the resources you throw at it, so just keep that in mind. As you scroll down, beginning in March, there will be new requirements for the nodes. The Cumulus node will then go down to 1,000 Flux. The Nimbus will go down to 12,500, and the Stratus will drop down to 40,000 Flux. So quite a big drop off on all those. And we'll look at what that does to the actual price of everything. So March 1st to the 22nd. Come on. 22nd?
You blew it. Fish.
The 22nd, March 1st to the March 22nd. Between this dates, both old and new collaterals are valid to run a Cumulus. After the 22nd, only the new collateral and requirements. So basically the idea is that they're getting significantly cheaper. Let's look at why that matters. So the current coin price is $195, $194 each. I think I, in my chart, made it at $195. So this is the sheet that goes over the nodes. We have all our nodes listed in, I guess, financial order. And then this will be the node returns after March with their current prices listed. So current price, and then this will be the kind of March to April transition price. So the current dollar price is $19,500 for a Cumulus node with a $9.89 per day return for a yearly income of $3,600. Not terrible, but almost $50,000 in current dollar cost for a $8,000 some odd dollar return, and then a $200,000 cost for a $31,000 return. Let's be honest.
It's definitely a no for me, dog. The voice is just not there.
As we get into the kind of April through March or whatever changes, we look at it and these numbers get to be a little bit better. We'll see if the returns change at a later date. Currently, you know, I mean, these are actually decent numbers. These probably not for me. That's just too much of an investment to make that amount of money. That said, you do not lose your tokens. If you do decide to shut your node down, you get all of your tokens back. The other thing to be aware of is as the price of the coin fluctuates, if it does happen to go to $5, then you're a millionaire or a thousandaire, I suppose. If it goes down to 30 cents, you're going to be real butt blasted. So just keep that in mind. A couple other things to look through. This is just the current reward structure. And then it does estimate the VPS cost here per month. If you do decide you want to host it, not locally, which I probably would not recommend hosting something that's going to use 6 or so terabytes of data per month locally. or it will completely bog down your network. VPS cost there $13, and then the VPS cost there is $25. So these are actually pretty decent. The other thing to be aware of is the Nimbus and Stratus rewards. Or the Nimbus and Strata nodes, you will also get Kda rewards. What the heck's Kda reward? That's a great question. This young man put together a chart. Lord only knows what the hell any of this means. They are currently giving out what he's calling shadow assets. The idea being these are coins that are not launched yet. They're parallel assets for Flux. Interesting concept. That could be something that, like, long term really, really pays off if, you know, whatever the coin happens to be does take off. The other thing, you can actually earn extra money running Kda nodes, and then Kda and Kda data. So lots of interesting stuff. I'm going to give credit to this guy, Cryptovium. I did not make this at all. This is much more professional than anything I can make. I tried to do some reading on the parallel assets. Way above my head.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
It looks like, from what I could gather, they are running parallel chains, and it should be a one-to-one trade for Flux on that chain versus Flux on the existing chain. But I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't know 100%. So this kind of goes over all the current node holders. This is sorted with 1,000 per page, and there are 3 pages. So quite a few people doing this. It's not one of the bigger projects right now, and I think the reason that is the case is because of the financial barrier to entry. I mean, right now there's not a lot of people in the space that want to drop $20,000, $50,000, $200,000 on these nodes, plus the maintenance costs and all that good stuff. That's a decent amount of money. I don't think many of us, myself included, do not have $200,000 to drop on a node for the computer magical internet money. I know some of us have $200,000 to drop, but not on magical internet money. So one thing before we sign off really quick, I just literally not even 20 minutes ago am very excited. I just got my Deeper Connect.
It's called the internet, and it's a fresh new way to check out sites, buy clothing, and surf music. And it's all located on this tiny CD-ROM.
Did end up going with the Pico. I went with the Pico. They didn't have any of the minis or the whatever the one the step up from the mini is. The data limit on this is going to be 100 megabits per second, so I will probably use this internally just for cell phones, the TVs, and all that good stuff. So look for a video on that. If you guys have any questions about this, I have given you literally everything I know about this project. So please ask literally anyone else. That guy's probably a good guy to ask. He seems like he knows what's going on. Are you guys going to get in this project? Is it something that interests you? Are you already in this project? Are you going to wait until after it actually becomes cheap enough to do something with? I mean, this does seem like a legit project. They're good returns, but they're not so insane that it's like there's no way that's possible. So I would love to hear your guys' opinion. This might be something after I buy my house, which we should be closing at the end of this month. So fingers crossed on that. Then I will finally be able to continue to invest in fun, weird, magical internet money projects. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content, please consider smashing, whatever the young bucks are saying these days. Do that to the like button down below. This is Duke and Squared, signing off.